I should have known something was up when Marcus couldn't stop laughing while showing me her profile picture. "Dude, just trust us," he wheezed, practically doubled over as Jake and Ryan nodded with these ridiculous grins plastered across their faces. We were at our usual Friday night hangout spot, this dingy sports bar where the wings were questionable but the beer was cheap, and apparently, my so-called best friends had decided it was the perfect time to play matchmaker, or so I thought. The photo they showed me was of a woman at what looked like a Renaissance fair, wearing a full medieval costume, complete with a pointed princess hat and holding what appeared to be a turkey leg the size of a baseball bat. Her expression was frozen in this exaggerated, dramatic pose like she was about to challenge someone to a duel. "She's perfect for you, man," Jake insisted, barely containing his laughter. "You're both total nerds." I should have been offended, but honestly they weren't entirely wrong. I spent my weekends building elaborate fantasy worlds for my Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, and my apartment was basically a shrine to Lord of the Rings. Still, something felt off about how hard they were trying to sell this, the way they kept exchanging glances, the barely suppressed smirks. This wasn't genuine matchmaking. This was entertainment at my expense. But here's the thing about being 28 and perpetually single while all your friends are getting engaged or married. You reach a point where even a setup that feels like a prank starts to sound better than another weekend alone. With your cat, Gandalf. Yes, I named my cat Gandalf. No, I'm not apologizing for it. So against every instinct screaming at me to decline, I agreed. The date was set for the following Saturday at this new cafe downtown that apparently specialized in board games. At least if the whole thing was a disaster, I could lose myself in a game of Settlers of Catan and pretend I was there alone by choice. The week leading up to the date was torture. My friends kept sending me tips via text, each one more ridiculous than the last. "Make sure you mention your extensive knowledge of medieval siege weaponry," Marcus wrote. Women love that. I knew they were messing with me. But part of me couldn't shake this gnawing anxiety that I was about to be the punchline of some elaborate joke. Maybe she wasn't even real. Maybe I'd show up and they'd all be hiding in the corner with cameras, ready to capture my humiliation for posterity. Saturday arrived with all the impending doom of a final boss battle. I wasn't prepared for. I changed outfits 4 times, finally settling on jeans and a button-down shirt that I hoped said casual but trying rather than desperately lonely. I arrived at the cafe 15 minutes early, because apparently I hate myself, and spent the entire time anxiously checking my phone and questioning every life decision that had led me to this moment. Then she walked in, and I forgot how to breathe. This wasn't the woman from the Renaissance fair photo, or rather, it was but completely transformed. She wore a simple sundress with a denim jacket, her dark hair falling in natural waves around her shoulders. But it was her smile that got me. This genuine, slightly nervous smile that suggested maybe she was just as uncertain about this whole thing as I was. She spotted me immediately, probably because I was the only person sitting alone looking like I was about to face a firing squad, and walked over. "Daniel?" she asked, and her voice had this warm, slightly husky quality that made my name sound infinitely better than it had any right to. "I'm Emma. Please tell me you're not secretly a serial killer, because I really need this date to not be a complete disaster." I laughed, and just like that, the tension shattered. "No promises," I said, "but I left my murder kit at home, so you should be safe for today at least." She sat down across from me, and I noticed she was clutching a book, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, one of my absolute favorites. "Good book," I ventured, nodding toward it. Her entire face lit up. "It's my comfort read," she admitted. "I've probably read it 6 times. I bring it with me when I'm nervous, because it feels like carrying a friend." And that's when I knew my friends hadn't been playing a joke on me at all. Or if they had, the joke had backfired spectacularly. Because sitting across from me was someone who understood that books could be friends, who wore medieval costumes to Renaissance fairs without apology, who admitted to being nervous instead of playing it cool. The next 3 hours dissolved like sugar in rain. We never actually played any board games that day. Instead, we really talked about everything. From our shared obsession with fantasy novels to our completely opposite opinions on whether pineapple belongs on pizza. She argued passionately for it. I defended the sanctity of traditional toppings with equal fervor. Somewhere around hour 2, she casually mentioned that my friends had showed her an equally ridiculous photo of me dressed as a wizard at last year's Halloween party, complete with a fake beard that had been sliding off my face. They told me you were this uptight. Serious guy who needed someone to help him loosen up, she said, her eyes twinkling with mischief. They showed me that photo as proof that deep down, you were actually fun. The pieces clicked into place with almost audible precision. This wasn't a joke setup. This was an intervention disguised as a prank. My friends, in their own immature, backwards way, had actually been trying to help. They knew I'd never agree to a serious blind date because I'd overthink it, stress about it, and probably cancel at the last minute, but frame it as a joke, as something I shouldn't take seriously, and suddenly I'd show up. Those manipulative geniuses. Emma leaned forward, her expression turning more serious. For what it's worth, I almost didn't come. My friends, yeah, plural, this was apparently a coordinated effort between our friend groups. They'd been trying to set me up for months. I kept refusing because every guy they suggested seemed so normal, boring, like they were trying to fix me by finding someone who'd make me less weird. She paused, playing with the corner of her book. Then they showed me your wizard photo and told me about your D&D campaigns and how you cry every time you watch The Return of the King, and I thought, maybe this person gets it. Maybe he understands that weird isn't something that needs fixing. I did cry during The Return of the King every single time. The Greyhaven scene destroyed me without fail. I absolutely cried during that movie, I confirmed. The music swells, the ships sail away, and I'm just a mess. No shame. Her laugh was like sunlight breaking through clouds, warm and unexpected and absolutely perfect. We finally left the cafe when they started stacking chairs around us. A not-so-subtle hint that we'd overstayed our welcome. Outside, the evening had turned cool, the city lights beginning to twinkle against the darkening sky. We stood on the sidewalk, neither of us quite ready for the date to end, both of us doing that awkward shuffle people do when they don't want to say goodbye. So, Emma said, biting her lip in a way that made my heart perform acrobatics in my chest. There's a new sci-fi bookstore that opened up on 10th Street. They're having a midnight release party next Friday for the new N.K. Jemisin novel. Would you maybe want to— Yes, I interrupted, probably too eagerly. Absolutely yes. I've had that book pre-ordered for months. Her smile could have powered the entire city grid. It's a date then. A real one this time. Not a joke setup. Though the joke setup worked out pretty well, I pointed out. Maybe we should thank our friends for their interference. Let's not tell them that yet, Emma suggested with a conspiratorial grin. Let them sweat for a while, wondering if they totally screwed up or actually did something right. We exchanged numbers and she gave me a quick, impulsive hug before heading to her car. I watched her drive away, still processing the fact that what started as what I thought was my friend's idea of entertainment had turned into the best night I'd had in years. When I finally got home, I found a group text from Marcus, Jake, and Ryan. So, it read, total disaster or what? I typed and deleted about 5 different responses before settling on, you guys are the worst friends ever. Same time next Friday? The replies came rapid fire. Oh damn. Did it actually work? We are matchmaking geniuses. I set my phone down and looked at Gandalf, who regarded me with typical feline indifference. I think I just met someone really special, I told him. He yawned and went back to grooming himself, unimpressed by my romantic revelation. 6 months later, Emma moved in with me and Gandalf. A year after that, I proposed to her at a Renaissance fair, both of us in full medieval costume, me on one knee in the mud while she wielded a foam sword and laughingly dubbed me the nerdiest man in all the realm before saying yes. Our wedding invitations featured both of our ridiculous photos, her with the turkey leg, me with the sliding wizard beard with text that read, started as a joke, became forever. And at our wedding, Marcus, Jake, and Ryan gave the most self-congratulatory best man speech in history, taking full credit for our happiness. Honestly, they'd earned it. Sometimes the best things in life come from the places we least expect them, from the setups we think are jokes, from the moments we almost don't show up for because we're too scared of being vulnerable or looking foolish. My friends knew something I didn't, that I needed someone who celebrated my weird, not someone who tolerated it. They knew Emma was that person before either of us did. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel. We share real stories about unexpected love, friendship, and the beautiful chaos of life. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that might just remind you that sometimes the universe has better plans than we do. Your support means everything, and who knows, maybe your story could be next. Subscribe now and join our community of believers in serendipity and second chances.